What's up, you guys? It's Sir Scrub here, bringing you some more Scrub Tier Yu-Gi-Oh! And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my October 2019 Banlist predictions. But before we get into today's video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you do want to see more creative videos from me, please be sure to check out my Patreon, PayPal, and TCG Player Store, all linked in the description. As well, this video was made using Tier Maker, so please go ahead and give them a check if check them out if you have need of their services. Huge thanks to them for having this service, allowing me to make much easier content. But with all that junk out of the way, let's go ahead and jump both feet into today's video, starting off with our first banned card, which is definitely going to be Nightmare Mermaid. I think all of us want to see this card banned. It's banned in the OCG. Orcust splash ability needs to be checked. You can throw Orcust in anything and make it work, and that definitely needs to be taken down. One thing that I do want to say before I get much further into this is that in my ban list videos, I try and balance out the format. So when you hit one deck, you have to hit them all, and this is probably the easiest way to check Orcust. As well, we need to talk about all of the dragon decks that are running around. So I have two hits that I think we could see. I'm going to start with the one that is probably the less likely of the two to happen, and that's Darkness Metal Dragon. The reason I say this is the less likely hit is because you can just replace this with Brotar, and some decks don't even play this card to begin with, so they may or may not ban this. It would definitely be a check on some dragon decks, but it would be really easy to play around. But the best way I think to check the dragon decks is just to ban the Agar Pain. If you ban the Agar Pain, all of the Guard Dragon combos really don't have a boss monster, and it's just, instead of being able to pump out 2 disruptions, you ended one, being the Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. So removing Agar Pain removes that free dragon body on board. Excuse me, and limits their potential. Now, with that being said, that's all I would like to see banned. I am not very favorable of banning a whole lot of cards, so I tend to not ban things as much as I would rather see them limited and then phased out, because I don't want to ban decks into unplayability. But speaking of unplayability, I would like to see all of the major dangers go to 1. At 2, these things really aren't, they're still seeing play everywhere. They're still really good cards, really fantastic engines, but as 1-ofs, you can't rely on them so much to push your deck over the edge. And this would hurt a whole lot of meta decks, every Orcust variant, a lot of Thunder Dragon variants. It would just go a long way at curbing the power of a lot of these decks. Yes, I know that they're a boon for rogue decks, but if only rogue decks played these cards, they would not be a problem. The next card I would like to see go to 1 is Thunder Dragon Colossus. With the appearance of Nibiru in the format, Thunder Dragons have moved back into a more pure or stunder route, as I've taken to calling it, and I've seen that term floated around as well. So they're mostly ending on multiple Colossuses or using them for Xyz fodder and stuff like that. So putting Colossus to 1 is definitely going to lower the ceiling of this deck. Next, Engage. Sky Striker has received multiple hits. It's time to put the nail in the coffin. I don't want to ban this card because I don't want to make the deck completely unplayable, but with Engage at 1, the deck might as well be unplayable. So yeah. Now, if you guys have noticed, the only way we've really even touched Pendulums is with this Guard Dragon hit, and so I would like to see Servant of Endymion go to 1. This would take the ceiling of the current Pendulum builds down a whole lot, making it a lot less consistent for them to get the Jackal King and thus Nibiru and hand trap protection on board. As well, Servant is just a really powerful playmaker. And then the final combo hit is, I would like to see Saryuja Skulldread finally get its dues and come to 1. I think this card is just insane in multiple copies, so just having 1 Saryuja, I don't think it's necessarily ban worthy, but at 1 it should be fine. As well, I would like to see this next card released. I think we could bring Zodiac Trident to 1. Without Broadbull, Zodiacs are not that bad of a deck. They're not insane. It's just not that big of a deal anymore. So yeah, I would love to see this come to 1. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Moving on to Semi-Limited, the first card I would like to see Semi-Limited is Wall of Revealing Light. Am I missing some kind of weird FTK here? Like this, it's crazy to think that this card is at 1, but Super Poly is at 3. So, I mean, and in the same vein of other cards are much more broken, so why is this still limited? Solemn Warning. If Judgment can be at 3, why is Warning at 1? It doesn't make any sense. For archetype specific stuff, I would actually like to see True King's Return come back to 2. Now, this is not just because I'm a Draco player and I want to see my deck get love. But with Dynamite at 1, multiple copies of Return is not that big of a deal because it's just not as searchable. As a true Draco player, you would much rather be searching your draw cards than to search this one pop. So with 1 Dynamite Knight, multiple copies of Return is not that bad. As well, I would definitely say that Pantheism and the Monarchs can come back at 2. The OCG has Monarchs at full power and nobody cares. Just give the Monarch players some love, please. And then the next card is probably my most controversial pick on this entire list. The rest of this stuff seems pretty standard. You know, the return's a little weird, but this is definitely going to raise some eyebrows. I would like to see Brilliant Fusion come back at 2. With Thunder Dragons and combo decks receiving as much hits as they do on the rest of this, putting Brilliant Fusion at 2 would not be that bad. Brilliant at 1 just makes the whole engine unplayable. At 2, it's not quite as bad as when it was at 3. So it gives it a little bit of life, gives it a little bit of usefulness. And like I said, I don't believe in making anything unplayable. I believe in making it difficult to use, but not unplayable. And with Brilliant Fusion at 1, the whole engine's just realistically unplayable. But that's it for the semi-limited. Now let's go ahead and go into what would I like to see released. Firstly, Ether the Heavenly Monarch. She just recently came to 2. Like I said, Monarchs are at full power in the OCG. Nobody cares. We already have Stormforth at 3. Just give the Monarch players some love. As well, Elemental Hero Stratos. This card's been slowly peeling off. We all know this is coming back. Same thing with Inzektor Dragonfly. This card is not that bad. And same thing with Chaos Emperor Dragon. It's just, these cards are not that bad. Why are they still on the list? They just need to come back. And in that same vein, Book of Moon. Solemn Judgments at 3. Super Polymerizations at 3. Why is Book of Moon at 1? And same thing with Raigeki. Why is Raigeki at 1? Super Polymerization is at 3. Why is Raigeki at 1? It doesn't make sense to me. The next card I would like to see come back is actually perform a Damage Juggler. Nobody's playing this card at 2. Nobody cares about this. Like, it's seeing 0 play. I have not seen this card played in a long time. Like, just bring it back. Nobody cares. And then the last card on my list is actually another Bone to Zodiac. Go ahead and bring Ratpier to 3. With Broadbull gone, this deck is not that bad. Trident to 1, Ratpier to 3 would do nothing. Nobody would realistically care. Give the Zoo players a bone. I mean, really? Without Broadbull, the deck is not going to be oppressive. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is what I would do to hopefully balance the format. I didn't really want to touch stun decks here. The only real thing I could see would maybe bring Heavy Storm back to 1 and just bring more natural checks back in. That's what I prefer Konami to do, is instead of just banning something into unplayability, I would rather see them bring in natural checks and just phase decks out. And that's what I think we really have to do, other than these potential hits. But that's all I've got for this one, you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you do want to see more creative videos from me, please be sure to check out my Patreon, PayPal, and TCG Player store, all linked in the description. But most importantly, don't forget, be a scrub. Peace.